everyone, it's Holly and I'm here with my winter/Q4 book haul combined with Christmas and birthday because my birthday is December 23rd. So I get a lot of Christmas and birthday gifts. So these are books that I purchased in October, November, and December and then was gifted in technically November and December because I celebrate Christmas and my birthday with my brother, sister-in-law, niece, and nephew at Thanksgiving. So that's good. My hair's a little floofy today, but we're trying to give it a little break before it gets curled for Christmas festivities tonight with another family. And Murphy is in a mood. I think all the running in and out and everything is driving him crazy. But let's go. Normally I organize these a lot better. I did not do that this time. I have not been in the best place. I actually haven't finished a book since October. So it's great that I'm adding all of these books to my TBR shelf. Anyways, let's get into it. So first is not actually a book, but I wanted to show it because it was so cute. My dad got me this notebook from Box Lunch. I mean, I asked for it, but and it says Belle's Book Club, and it has these like plastic dividers with different things on them. And I have no idea what I'm going to use it for, but I think I'm going to do a much more casual book journal in 2022. And so I think I might just take like my notes in here because I think that might be cute and fun, and it's book related and it's relatively small, so it'll fit in like my purse or the backpack I take to work. So that is good for me. I was going to do all the books like I bought first. Yeah, let's just do that. Okay, so these are gonna be books that I bought. Either I had like pre-ordered them, or I just purchased them in general, or they came in Fairy Loot or Owl Crate. I have canceled my Owl Crate. I am going to cancel Fairy Loot after I get my third, whatever the current Cassandra Clare book series is. One, I do think I like Fairy Loot editions a teens bit better, but I'm not reading as much YA, even fantasy YA, so it's just not a good idea for me anymore. But I like having early access, and I really want that final edition. So anyways, let's see if I remember where all these came from. So this is Beasts of Prey by Ayana Gray. I think this was an extra book in a Fairy Loot. They do that sometimes. Do I know anything about it? No. It says for fans of An Ember in the Ashes, Shadow and Bone, and The Gilded Ones. I didn't like An Ember in the Ashes. I haven't read Shadow and Bones. I did kind of like The Gilded Ones, and I do really like this cover. It's like a play on Booksnake. Is Booksnake out? I don't know. Didn't last long. This one, I believe, is an Owl Crate. Although it looks more like a Fairy... No, it's Fairy Loot. Owl Crate is the one that wraps. And it is Jade Fire Gold. That is kind of hard for me to read because of the color changes. By June C.L. Tan. It says Her Destiny, His Revenge. I also don't know anything about this, but I do really like the cover, and the side has this sprayed edge. I like the cover, so... Ooh, they have like pretty art and stuff on it. Let's see if usually Fairy Loot does. Yeah, they've been doing this a lot on their covers, which I really like, where it's just like the gold. Sir, why are we biting cardboard? And then this is the inside of the dust jacket. You want to know what I like about this dust jacket? I mean, it's pretty, but like they always are. There's a lot of people. There's more than 3 people. So that makes me happy. I don't know if that means multiple points of view. Probably not. I'm guessing it's going to be 2, but at least there will be a lot of people, which I appreciate. I'll have to look up and see if it is a standalone or the start of a series, because I will be more inclined to pick it up sooner if it's a standalone. Okay. This one is Owl Crate. It is Dreams Lie Beneath by Rebecca Ross. Again, I know nothing about it. I mean, it's pretty. Not as pretty. It's the other ones draw me more, you know? This one is a Fairy Loot, and it is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I've heard of Stephanie Garber before, but I've never read any of her books. It says, how far would you go for happily ever after? Oh, it's blurbed by Bridget, Kemmer. I do like Bridget Kemmer. And this is the side. Oh, they have art on the end pages. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is the back. This is the side. This is gorgeous. This is the front, and it says The Ballad of the Archer and the Fox. So it's different. Interesting. So I wonder, so interesting. And then it has these end pages. Do they have different end pages on the other side? I don't even remember. They are different. And those look like different people. Okay. So again, it looks like a lot of people. It looks kind of cutesy, but I feel like at the same time, it's probably not going to be cutesy. For everyone who has made a bad decision for a broken heart. Oh my gosh, this map. YouTube, don't demonetize me for, well, I'm not monetized. Don't like get mad at me for some of the art. Oh my God. This is gorgeous. And then this is the inside art. Oh my God. Okay. For as long as I need to read this. Okay. For as long as she can remember, Evangeline Fox has believed in happily ever after until she learns that the love of her life is about to marry another and her dreams are shattered. Desperate to stop the wedding and heal her wounded heart, Evangeline strikes a deal with the charismatic but wicked Prince of Hearts. In exchange for his help, he asks for 3 kisses to be given at the time and place of his choosing. But after Evangeline's first promised kiss, she learns that bargaining with an immortal is a dangerous game and that the Prince of Hearts wants far more from her than she pledged. He has plans for Evangeline, plans that will either end in the greatest happily ever after or the most exquisite tragedy. Oh my gosh! Okay, I want to read this now. This is like the first book I've seen in a couple months that like makes me want to read. I'm not gonna lie. Watch it be part of a series. The cover, I can't, like this cover, I can't decide if I like it or not. Like, I like the colors, but there's a lot going on. But I kind of like that. It kind of feels like an older fantasy novel, like, or like a fantasy story, like a classic fantasy. I don't know. But if it's part of a series, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to set this aside separately because I feel like I might read that like today. Okay. This one is another owl crate, and it's called The Lake's Edge by Lindell Clipstone. I don't know what this is about. It looks kind of creepy. I think it came in like October, so I may or may not read it. I'm a big baby, but looks creepy. Next, I actually have 2 editions of this, so let's just do them back to back. And that is Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. So I did pre-order a copy because I am a Margaret Rogerson fangirl. Have I read it yet? No, because it's not a standalone. So I'm waiting. Also, then like slumpiness or whatever. But this is an Owl Crate edition. So I kind of figured it would probably come in one of the book boxes, but I decided to pre-order it anyways. But yes, they don't look very different, to be completely honest with you. Maybe a little greener on this one. I don't know. And then another one that I got. Oh, I think I showed the other edition in my previous haul was the one I had pre-ordered, but I did get a copy of Defy the Night by Bridget Kemmer. I believe in a fairy loot box because it's not like, but it's kind of small for a fairy loot. Hold on, let's see if it's what. Yep, fairy loot. And so I think this is a pretty similar cover. Let's see if there's any artwork or anything. The cover is just like a pretty standard, like I think it's Bloomsbury. Just like a standard Dusk jacket. And this is another one that I am putting off reading because it is part of a series. So, but I think these are both going to be duologies, so they'll probably finish next year. This also does come with a like ribbon bookmark I just typically leave them in because they are Murphy cat bait. That is for sure. Next were, oh, this one, I think I actually got this before and I had just like forgotten about it. This was another extra book, I believe, in a fairy loot. Just like an extra book they put in sometimes. It's called Afterlove by Tanya Byrne. I don't know anything about it. I think the cover is very pretty. I'm not always a big fan of illustrated covers, but that one's okay. Works for me. It's got like these pink sprayed edges. I think it's contemporary. I don't know. I'm assuming it's kind of paranormally. I don't know. Next are special editions I had ordered in book boxes. I think is this Fairy Loot? Yes. This one I pre-ordered because I didn't realize, for some reason I remembered not getting this edition and then it came. So I must have successfully ordered it and I bought it to match my other editions, and that is Gods and Monsters by Shelby Maherin. I still don't know how to say it. This thing is a chunker. I mean, I think the font is pretty big. Average big. It's like silver. You can't really see that in the camera, but it is like a silver sprayed edge. Anything fancy? I mean, the end pages are kind of cute. It is signed on that one. And then here is the inside of the dust jacket. And now that this series is complete, I will hopefully finish it. Because I have not read book 2. And I think I can still continue without having to go back and reread book 1. I think I am confident in my abilities to do that. So, 2 other fairy loots that I had got special editions of, which I have just been waiting for and waiting for and waiting for. They took forever, but it's fine. I mean, like, I knew it was going to be a long time when I ordered them, but I'd heard about these books a few years ago and I was like, maybe someday. And then Elliot Brooks sold them to me. So when I got the email that these editions were coming out, I was like, okay, I'll buy these editions. And that is Spin the Dawn and Unravel the Dusk by Elizabeth Lim. It has like a Mulan trope, which is not my favorite thing, but it's fine. It's like Project Runway-y, and I think the romance is a little stronger than other people wanted it to be, but that makes it better for me personally. And it's just a nice completed duology. I think these editions are like gorgeous. Are these not like 2 of the most beautiful books you've ever seen in your life? Oh my gosh, gorgeous. And they have like the sprayed edges, and this is Spin the Dawn on the inside, or like the actual cover, and then the dust jacket. And I think there might be traveling in these, which I appreciate a good traveling story. I'm hoping to read these soon. You know, they're on like my list when I feel the desire to read. And then Unravel the Dusk. It's this. My camera's not doing a good job. And then this is the inside of the dust jacket. And they're not too long, which I think should be good. And again, it's a completed series, so that's always a good thing. And then the last books I bought, I think I had said in my last book haul I was considering doing, and is so unnecessary, but I did it anyways. And that is that I bought the mass market paperbacks of the AB series of the Off-Campus series by L. Kennedy. I actually bought the trade paperbacks years ago when they were offered, and I also have the trade paperbacks of the girl editions of these. And then when the Legacy came out, they did L. Kennedy did a girl edition, which is the trade paperback, and then she did the abs like a boy edition that fits in with the abs editions. Abs because they all are like shirtless with their abs. But that is only in a mass market. So I wanted my shelf to match. And if she came out with the Legacy in a trade paperback Abs edition, would I buy it? Yes. So we have the deal, the mistake, the score, and the goal. So, and have I read the Legacy yet? Of course not. I do kind of want to, even though I don't feel like I need to reread these to read that, I kind of want to reread them, and I own them all as audiobooks, and then, so I just keep putting off reading the Legacy so that I can reread these first, and then it's a weird cycle. I don't know. It makes no sense. Next are books that I got for like Christmas and my birthday from my family. So these are going to be random. A lot of them are series that like my mom and my dad bought me. So they're not going to be in like chronological order like of the series, because I just have them in chunks of like, these are the ones my dad gave me, these are the ones my mom gave me. So but let's first talk about the nonfiction I got. So in 2021, I did try to read one nonfiction book, like self-development kind of book every month. I have failed that. But I had already made my plan for 2022 to do the same thing. So I had requested all of the books that I didn't already own for 2022. And I believe I got them all that I had requested. And then I have since decided I'm going to go down to 6 books for the year because I think that'll be less stressful. But now that I have all of these, a lot of them are really enticing to me. Oh, these are just the ones for my dad and my brother and sister-in-law, because my mom's are a little separate. Whatever, it's fine. So I have Creating Confidence, Unleashing the Creative Potential Within All of Us by Tom Kelly and David Kelly. Which, I don't know. I just looked up a list. Do I know things? Not really, but this looked interesting to me. Next is Fooled by Randomness, The Hidden Role of Chance in Life and in the Markets by Nassim Nicholas Taleb. So I think stuff like this is kind of interesting. Chance, I think a lot of people attribute to intelligence, not in a mean way, to which chance is really the factor. And I'm sure this will be very helpful for like everyday life, but I also do work in finance, so the markets part, and there are a lot of people who work in that business that I think that their skill is a lot when really a lot of it is chance. But anyways, next is The Obstacle is the Way, The Timeless Art of Turning Trials into Triumph by Ryan Holiday. He wrote The Daily Stoic, which I was reading this year. And I plan on reading again next year. But this is like a book more from him. I think this is an interesting concept. I'm kind of trying to adapt a stoic type lifestyle because I think it is healthy, especially for me. And I think that this will be a good complement to that. Next is, I've not ever read this or heard it, but that is The Last Lecture by Randy. I think it's Pausch sounds more right. And I do remember him. I remember like his story. He got cancer, he was dying, and he like delivered this last lecture, and it's supposed to be very like impactful and everything. He did pass away, so I figured it was time to give that a read. Next is Manage Your Day-to-Day, Build Your Routine, Find Your Focus, and Sharpen Your Creative Mind. It's edited by Jocelyn Glee. And so is it like a bunch of lectures or something? I don't know. I just asked for it. I didn't. Oh, it is. It's kind of like a series of essays by different people. Oh, okay. I feel like that might be even better. So, because then you get like a lot of different perspectives and stuff. But I think it's always helpful to kind of get different perspectives. I don't think there's one way to like manage your day, manage your life, manage your time, but it's helpful to get different perspectives. I don't know if that will do that, but sir, you're in my way. Next is Lateral Thinking, Creativity Step by Step by Edward de Bono. I think this one looks a little bit older. And I also kind of wanted to build like more creativity kind of stuff into my self-development, because I think that creativity has a lot of meaning, and I think it's missing in a lot of ways in my life. I think I'm limiting myself in a lot of ways, so maybe I will, I don't know. Oh yeah, man, that looks like an old book. Doesn't it look beautiful though? Like, I don't know. We'll see. I also do find I do get kind of like stuck in one thought process, and so maybe this will help with that. And then this one is An Astronaut's Guide, an Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth by Colonel Chris Hadfield. I think this is interesting. I think it's interesting to like read about people's perspectives that are so different than you. And I mean, like, astronauts are crazy. I'm just saying it because, like, who does that? I'm much respect, but crazy. But also, like, I'm sure it gives you a completely different perspective on life when you go to space and you see Earth and you see it and you realize like how infinitesimally small we are and everything. I don't know. Who knows what this will be about? But this is probably one of the ones I am the most excited for. And now moving on to the books from my dad. So first is Conspiracy of Blood and Smoke by Anne Blankman. This is the second book in this duology. I've read it. I've wanted editions. I've wanted copies on my shelf for years because I read them from the library. I will probably never reread this series because it is so emotionally draining for me, but I think it is so powerful, so I really wanted them on my shelves, and I want to support Anne Blankman. So yes. And then I asked for Daughter of the Blood by Anne Bishop. So I read some Anne Bishop a couple years ago. I reread the other series last year, and so I think I'm finally brave enough to read more books by her. I love the other series. Highly recommend the audiobooks too. The narrator is amazing. I have heard she's a cutthroat author. So that is one of the reasons I stayed away. But this is more like traditional high fantasy and everything. So, but I've decided I'm going to give it a try. We'll see. I'm sure I'll like it. It's just a matter of how like emotionally drained I'll feel. And then my dad did get An Unexpected Peril by Deanna Rayburn, and this is the most recent book in the Veronica Speedwell series. I think I talked about these books in my series I want to finish. Technically this isn't finished. I know book 7 comes out next year. I'm not sure how many she wants to write. I've only read book 1. I loved it though. I love it. It's so beautiful. The covers are gorgeous. But I feel like now that the series is much further along, I can go back into them, I think. And I can just read them a little slowly, and I think I'll be good. I don't know. We'll see. And then he did get me a complete series, which I'm so excited to have physical copies of. And that is the Heartstriker series by Rachel Aaron. So the first one is Nice Dragons Finish Last, which I actually have read this. I read it as an ebook. And then One Good Dragon Deserves Another, which is book 2. I read this as an ebook as well. And then the rest of them were not out. And then I just like stopped buying them. And I don't love reading as ebooks. So, and I feel like I need to reread these now before I continue on. And so the third one is No Good Dragon Goes Unpunished, which is a chunker of a book. A Dragon of Different Color. Another chunker for sure. I'm hoping this cover means romance is developing more. And then the last one is Last Dragon Standing, which is a little smaller. But now that it is complete, hopefully I will get back into that and finish it. I really was enjoying the first 2. It was just then the third one wasn't out, and then it was a whole thing. This is why I don't like reading incomplete series. Here's the bag from my mother. Full of books. So I will just grab these out kind of at random, I guess. Ooh, don't fall over. Okay, so there is this one, Predictably Irrational by Dan Irrational, which actually apparently my mother read. before wrapping it, which is fine. She said she really liked it. She found it very interesting. This again is something that I think is like this concept is interesting. Like this subtitle or whatever is The Hidden Forces That Shape Our Decisions. Humans are incredibly predictably irrational. We make so many irrational choices, and it is interesting, and I always find that concept interesting. So this one is definitely going to be in that 6 that I plan on reading in 2022. Next is Blackbird Girls by Anne Blankman, which is her latest release. And I think this one takes place around, Chernobyl. It's connected to Chernobyl, but it's told in 2 different timelines. There's one in 1986 with Chernobyl, and then one in 1941. So I'm sure it will make me cry and sad and awful, but I'm sure I will also really enjoy it because I've enjoyed every Anne Blankman book I've read. They just make me feel things I don't like feeling. So gotta be prepared for that. Next is Real Men Knit by Quanah Jackson. I remember hearing about this, I think a couple of years ago. When did this come out? 2020. Yeah, so a couple of years ago. And I remember people being excited for it. I don't remember like how people actually felt, but I'm fine with it. I think it is about like, foster brothers. And then they're like adopted brothers, and their mom has a knitting shop in Harlem, and so then she passes away, and I think they are trying to like keep it going or something. I think it looks interesting. I'm guessing it will be a series. Is All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. I'm definitely behind / kind of randomly missing Colleen Hoover books in my reading, and I guess this is like loosely connected to the to Finding Cinderella. So and she wrote like a little like companion-y thing that connects them, and I really like Finding Cinderella, which is connected to Hopeless. It's about 6, and I really like that story, so that really encouraged me to want to read this. Next is A Murderous Relation by Deanna Rayburn. Again, a Veronica Speedwell novel. These covers are always gorgeous. I don't know which one this is. I just know it's one I didn't already own. So my mother did get me Christmas Shopaholic by Sophie Kinsella, which is the only Shopaholic novel I don't own. There is one I have not read before this, but I'm afraid to read that one. I think I've talked about it before, but I will read it, and then I think this one will be much less scary to go into. And that is like only a couple of years old. She did get me Prisoner of Night and Fog by Anne Blankman, which is the first book in this duology. My dad got me the second one. So yes, again, probably will never reread, but wanted it on my shelf. Another Veronica Speedwell novel, A Dangerous Collaboration. Again, I don't know which one it is. Again, the cover, gorgeous. Another Colleen Hoover book, Heart Bones, that I have not read. So yeah, I just, I gotta get like caught up on the Colleen Hoover. Another nonfiction one, Finish by John Acuff. I do have Start. Finish I have read before. Start I have not, but I do plan on reading both in 2022 as part of my self-development. And then I almost forgot one more book, and that is this like coffee table book from my dad. It's called One Day at Disney. This is also a show on Disney Plus, I believe. I have not seen it, but it takes you through a whole day at Disney. So like in different parks, areas, stuff like that, and it takes you through different times. So like this one is chapter 1, and it says midnight to 3 a.m. and then it goes through, oh, she's from Binghamton? Awesome. And then it goes through a different cast member for basically every hour. So this is Stephanie Carroll. She's from Binghamton, New York, which is actually where my sister-in-law is from. And she is a ranch hand at Walt Disney World. I wonder if it's Dugan. I did a rhino tour at Walt Disney World and I met the newest male rhino. His name is Dugan, and they brought him in to try and have more baby rhinos with a more diversified genetic pool. And Dugan has since helped contribute 3 rhinos to the world, which is amazing. I got to pet him. He was very nice. So I feel like an emotional connection to the birth of every rhino that is now born at Disney World, because I met Dugan, and like I get so excited. I'm like, literally every time they say that there's a new rhino, I'm like, oh my gosh, Dugan, good job. I mean, good job mom too, you know, they did a lot of hard work. But Dugan came in, he'd never had babies before, he did his job, he's helping repopulate the world with rhinos. And as an aside, that has nothing to do with this, but whatever, maybe I'll edit this out. Disney does release rhinos back into Africa, so they have released several rhinos that they have birthed in Walt Disney World at Animal Kingdom and taken them back to Africa, or to Africa, not back to, but to Africa, and released them into the wild. And they've been able to track additional births in the wild, which is amazing. That is, of course, always the goal with this, is not to just conserve animal populations in captivity, but to build these populations back up in the wild and help them survive and thrive in the wild. And that is just so amazing. I'm so happy they're a part of that. And I'm so happy I got to see Dugan. We're talking about doing the rhino tour again on my next Disney trip with my dad. The only thing that stinks about it is it's all backstage at Disney, so you can't film or take, I think they'll take a picture of you. No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't take a picture while you were petting him. It was like something else. Like you could take a picture with like a prop rhino thing, kind of. That was what it was. And I completely understand. I just wish you could share more. That's why something like One Day at Disney is amazing, and you can see a lot of animal care stuff on Disney Plus. So you can see what these caretakers are doing with these animals, because doing that tour was so amazing. It was great. It was informative. It gave you a connection to these animals. Like petting a rhino, like I've never pet a rhino, and they can be dangerous, but generally they tend to be pretty social creatures, especially, I can't remember what kind of rhino the majority of the Disney rhinos are, but I think they tend to be some of the more peaceful ones. And I think a lot of their violence comes from like, they're pretty blind, so they have to be like, they're aggressive to like protect themselves. Anyways, in case you're wondering, feels kind of like a hairy basketball. That was how I would describe the way he felt. Anyways, this video has gone on long enough. You probably didn't care about rhinos. We must save the chubby unicorns though, because they are important. All animals are important. But yes, so those are the books. I got way more books than I thought I would. I also didn't realize I bought so many in October. So yeah, and a lot of the books I got for Christmas and my birthday I've never read before, so they are being added to my TBR shelf. I really need to, I was gonna say I need to examine that, but like, do I don't know. I'm gonna do a Q4 wrap up and like a 2021 wrap up, and I will talk about goals in that video as well. And maybe that comes out first, I'm not sure. And I think I'm gonna talk about, I had this perception of having goals of like trying to cut down my TBR, but like, does a larger TBR hurt anybody? I don't know. I'm dwelling on this right now. Now, do I have room in my apartment for all of these books? No, but that's not the point. Anyway, so thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. I have to figure out how I'm going to do a thumbnail for this. I don't know. Anyways, I will see you later. And I hope you had a Merry Christmas if you celebrate, or a Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy whatever, Happy December. You made it through another year, and Happy New Year. I hope 2022 is the best year you've had yet, and that it only goes up from there. And I will see you next time. Bye!